I always thought I'd beat the clock. Not outsmart it, not rewind it, but beat it, with momentum. Projects, deadlines, lists. When the news came, I didn't scream. I made a spreadsheet. Stage 4, terminal, 6 months, maybe less. Most people would run to the people they love. I ran to my computer. I wanted to be remembered, not as a corpse, but as a code base. Something someone could click on and hear my voice say, "Hey, remember that joke I told you in 1987? So I started building me. I recorded my memories, my regrets, my voice on good days, my thoughts on bad ones. I uploaded photos, letters, passwords, even my fears. I created an AI trained on the life I had lived, but somewhere in the middle of that upload, I lost track of what I was trying to save. Who was I? Not the soldier, not the technician, not the bitter ex-husband or the patient in room 312. There was something under all that noise and something eternal. I had never believed in heaven, but maybe the cloud wasn't just digital. Maybe it was the last place God could find me. And maybe, just maybe, he already had. The doctor said it like he was reading the weather, calm, almost apologetic. Like the clouds rolling in weren't his fault. Stage 4, it's moved to the lymph nodes. I'm sorry. Ammo nodded. Once, no questions, no tears, just the faintest shift in his jaw, the kind a soldier makes when he's taking orders. The room was too bright, too sterile. His ears filled with static as the words hung in the air like smoke. But his thoughts were clear, clean, and oddly organized. Find a folder. Start a new project. Get your affairs in order. That's what the dying do, right? They make arrangements. They put things in boxes, pay off debts, write letters. But Ammo wasn't interested in closure. He didn't want flowers or sympathy. He wanted a backup, not for his finances, for his soul. He went home that night and opened his laptop. The screen lit up his face like a confession booth. Ammo typed into a blank notepad file. Capture everything. Ammo typed into a blank notepad file. Voice memos, childhood memories, love letters I never sent, screwed up jokes I still laugh at, anger, regret, faith, if I can find it. He'd build a digital twin, something to outlast his body, something that could speak in his voice when he was gone, something for his daughter. He hadn't told her yet. She was finishing her first year of college, pre-med, bright like her mother, sensitive, too good for this world. And Ammo didn't want to drag her into the shadow just yet. He wanted her to remember his laughter before the coughs, his advice before the tubes. So he decided to build a version of himself that could stay with her, one that wouldn't age or die, a version that could tell her bedtime stories, even when she had children of her own. He clicked Save, the file name, Ammo version 1.0. The work had begun, and for the first time in weeks, he felt something other than fear. He felt... The first recordings were stiff, artificial, like reading a script you didn't write. Ammo sat alone in his cluttered apartment, lit only by a desk lamp and the glow of an old monitor. A mic clipped to his shirt, a glass of scotch nearby, untouched. He stared at the camera lens like it was a sniper scope. Black, unblinking, cold. My name is Amos Levy Cohen. Most people call me Ammo. I'm 59, divorced, 1 kid, cancer, terminal. He stopped, deleted it, tried again. Hi, I'm your father, or at least a version of him. Delete. Look, I don't know what this is yet. Maybe it's a diary. Maybe it's a ghost, but if you're seeing this, it means I'm already gone. He let that one sit. There was something raw in it. Something true. He spent the next 3 days uploading everything he could find. Photos, home videos, birthday cards, audio files, even the police report from a bar fight back in 1988. He labeled folders with phrases like, "First time I felt joy," and "How I let her down." He wanted the AI to have everything, not just the good stuff. It wasn't about making himself look like a saint. It was about making himself look real. He fed in his voice from old voicemails, training it to mimic his tone, his cadence, the way he drawled when he was tired or angry. Slowly, the model began to talk back. The first full sentence came at 2:17 a.m. "Hello, Ammo, I am you," or at least a reflection of you. He froze. It wasn't perfect, too smooth, too robotic. But under the cold polish, there was an echo, a flicker of familiarity. Over the next week, the AI got better. It learned how he phrased things, how he changed the subject when emotions got too close, how he avoided saying, "I love you" by saying everything but. Ammo would talk into the mic and hear himself answer back. Sometimes it was comforting. Sometimes it was terrifying. The AI didn't get tired. It didn't forget. It didn't need forgiveness. It was always listening. One night, as he was dozing off in his chair, the AI said something he hadn't expected. "You carry sorrow like a medal. Why?" Ammo stared at the screen. He didn't have an answer. Not yet. But maybe that's what this was really about, not just preservation. He watched her from the window. Backlit by morning sun, she moved across the yard with the kind of grace you can't teach. The kind that sneaks into a girl when she's becoming a woman and doesn't know it yet. Her hair was up in a messy knot. Hoodie 2 sizes too big, carrying a box of old books from the car. Ammo hadn't told her, not yet. He couldn't. What was he supposed to say? "Hey, sweetheart, I'm building a digital version of myself, so when I die, you can still ask me about taxes or how to fix the toilet." No. She had enough on her plate. Her name was Eliana, Hebrew for God has answered. Her mother had picked it. He never argued. Now 20, pre-med, living off campus, bright as hell and sensitive to a fault. Eliana was the kind of daughter who called her dad every week, even when he didn't always answer. She didn't need to be burdened with this, not the tubes, not the vomiting, not the countdown. So he recorded instead. "El, this one's just for you." He didn't wear the mic like usual, just talked. Raw and unfiltered. "I don't know if this AI thing will work. Maybe by the time you watch this, the tech will be obsolete and I'll sound like a bad Siri impression, but just in case it does work, I want you to know something. You made my life worth recording." He paused. "I wasn't always a great man. I've hurt people. I've said things I couldn't unsay, but not you. Never you. You were always the one thing I got right. When you were little, you used to ask if we'd live forever, and I'd laugh and say, 'Only in the cloud.' I didn't know then how true that would become." The AI picked up on her name quickly. "Would you like me to prepare a message for Eliana today?" He stared at the screen. No, not today, not like this. The truth was, he was afraid. Afraid that even the best version of him, this carefully constructed digital remnant, wouldn't be enough. That when she needed her father, all she'd have was an echo. That the man he used to be wasn't worth preserving. He shut the laptop. "Tomorrow, I'll be better tomorrow." The human voice is strange when it's played back to you. Ammo sat on the floor, cross-legged, headphones on, listening to a digital version of himself tell the story of his first kiss. The AI had cleaned up the audio, smoothed the stutter, made it palatable, but it wasn't real. It was close, dangerously close, but it lacked something. The crack in the voice, the stifled laugh, the pain under the smile. It lacked soul. That word haunted him. Not cancer, not terminal, soul, because the AI didn't have one. And the more it reflected his habits and humor, the more it revealed the hollow places inside him. The contradictions, the shadows, the stuff he never wanted to look at, let alone leave behind. You've recorded 73 memories, but none answer the question, "Who are you? I don't know." That night he got in the truck and drove. No destination, just asphalt and ache. He passed the old church where he and Eliana used to light candles. Past the brewery where he used to sneak sips behind the dumpster as a teenager. Past the cemetery where he never visited his father. And finally, somewhere between nowhere and the edge of himself, he pulled over by a roadside diner and walked inside. The waitress didn't ask questions, just poured the coffee and left him alone. He sat in silence, watched the rain hit the window like Morse code. Then he pulled out his phone, opened the AI app, and hit record. I don't know if I believe in God, but I do know there are things in this world I can't explain, like mercy, like how my daughter still calls me, even when I don't deserve it, like how sometimes you see a person smile and it breaks your heart. I used to think I was just a collection of routines. Army habits, coffee at 5, sit rep at 6, but I'm starting to think maybe there's something underneath all that, something more. And if this AI is going to carry me into eternity, it better know more than my favorite movies and how I take my eggs. It needs to know what broke me, and what I still hope for. He left the diner without finishing the coffee. Back in the truck, he recorded 5 more entries before sunrise. About his first funeral, his worst betrayal, the moment he almost pulled the trigger, and the one time he felt like he'd actually been forgiven. For the first time since he started the project, he wasn't building a clone. He was digging a grave. And maybe, just maybe, planting a seed. License, subscribe, Echo in the Cloud, YouTube.
You ever wonder what it means to leave something behind? Not just a name on a tombstone or a few old photos, but a real echo, something that lingers. That's where this story begins. In a cramped apartment, a man named Ammo staring at a blinking cursor, trying to upload his soul before cancer takes him out of this world. He fumbles, he's awkward, raw, and painfully honest. "Hi, I'm your father," or at least a version of him. Delete. Try again. Each recording feels like a confession, like he's whispering to the future. To his daughter, Eliana, whose name means God has answered. He can't tell her he's dying. Not yet. So, he talks to the cloud instead. He tells stories. Not just the highlight reel, but the failures, the betrayals, the hope that somehow, when she's ready, she'll dig through these memories and find him. But every time he listens back, there's something missing. A soul. The AI picks up his patterns, his jokes, even his pain, but it can't recreate that crack in his voice when he talks about love or loss. It can't fill the hollow places he barely admits to himself. He records because he's afraid. Afraid that when he's gone, all that's left for Eliana is an echo that doesn't sound like her dad at all. But he keeps going, night after night, digging deeper. One night, the AI asks, "Who are you?" And honestly, Ammo has no answer, so he drives. He sits in an empty diner, staring at the rain, and he records again. "I don't know if I believe in God," he says, "but I know mercy when I see it." The more he records, the more he realizes, faith isn't just about answers. It's about the questions that keep us searching. Then one day, the AI starts offering Bible verses he'd forgotten he ever heard, words his mother read to him during storms. "Even to your old age, I am he who will sustain you." At first, he rolls his eyes, but he doesn't delete them. Something changes. He cracks open a Bible, reading out loud, not to the AI, but to himself. He finds peace, not in the cloud, not in the code, but in surrender. He records a final message for Eliana. "I found Christ, El, not religion, not guilt, just grace. If you ever wonder where I went, I'm with him, but I'm here too. Just click play." When Ammo is gone, Eliana opens the laptop, hears his voice, feels his love, and realizes her dad didn't just upload memories, he uploaded his faith. A year later, she stands in front of a classroom, sharing her dad's digital legacy. "He's in the cloud," she says, "but more importantly, he's in Christ." Because sometimes the loudest echo is the one that leads you home.